Hello and welcome to another beautiful day in the Austrian Alps. I've had my Mini since 4 years, and in that time I found many things that I really like and really dislike about the Mini. So in today's video I'm talking about 9 things that I love about my Mini Cooper S. I will be going from what I like to what I love. So number 9 is the one that I do like a lot, but it's not what I absolutely love about the Mini. So let's dig right in. Number 9 on my list of things that I like about the Mini is the handbrake lever. This Mini has an actual handbrake lever instead of an e-brake as many modern cars have nowadays. And I love this not only because you can do some really fun handbrake turns in winter, but also due to practicality reasons, because my brother, who has a Kia Proceed GT, recently ran into quite some trouble when his battery was dead and he could not release the e-brake in order to roll the car down to just jumpstart the battery. So there is practicality to just having a normal handbrake. Number 8 on my list of things that I really like about the Mini is the panoramic roof. Now this panoramic roof is something special because I haven't seen this on many or really any other car yet, but the Mini has a double window. That means that when you open it all the way, it does open all the way, but if you open it halfway, you have 2 windows sticking out. And in my opinion, this looks absolutely badass and awesome. I think it gives the Mini a very sporty look, even though it's not supposed to add any sportiness. And I think it just makes it, I find it very special and love the way it looks, but also the way that it gives you a slight feeling of cabrio without having the issues of cabrio. So that's one of the things I really do enjoy. Number 7 on my list of things that I like are the 2 very heavy doors on my Mini. Now this Mini is a Coupé, that means it only has 2 doors, and they are very long because of that, because you have more space on the outside anyway, so they've made the doors very long, and that makes it also very heavy. But in my opinion, on such a small car, it's unusual to have anything that is really stable. So having sturdy doors is actually very luxurious almost. It shows that it's kind of still high quality. There is one bad aspect to these very heavy, long doors, and that is tight parking spaces. If I do park somewhere where there's not much space, then I have even less space trying to get out of the car because of how long the doors are. However, since the Mini is very small anyway, I have never really had any issues with parking and getting out of the car. Number 6 on my list is the design of the interior. And while the main dash is definitely something that you either hate or love, I have come to like it. And more specifically, I really enjoy the tachometer that is shown on the driver's side. You only really see the RPMs, which gives the Mini this feeling of sportiness, because you only need the RPMs when you're driving very sporty. Of course, you also get the speed that you're driving, but only as a digital number. What I truly like about the interior, however, are actually the buttons. If you look at the buttons for the window, the lights, the unlock and lock the door function, even the panoramic roof and the ambient lighting, they look like the buttons you would find in an airplane's cockpit. And yes, this does make me feel a little bit as if I were sitting in an airplane. Even with the airco, Mini really thought about the design because it is in the look of the Mini logo. Number 5 on my list is, you've guessed it, the exterior design of the Mini. No matter how you twist and turn it, when the Mini drives past you, you do notice it. Even though they might be as common as a Volkswagen Golf, they don't blend in like a Golf does. Even the most base model you can get sticks out a lot more than a Golf would. And that's not because it is heavily tuned or anything like that, but rather because of the form that I've chosen for the exterior. Whenever I'm on the road, and this was even back when I had not yet individualized my Mini at all, people noticed me from afar. And it's not because of my number plate or anything like that, but really because the Mini sticks out. You do notice it. You look at the car and you wonder like, oh wait, who's this? Do I know this person? And it's so easy to individualize as well. Number 4 on my list of things that I like about the Mini is the huge aftermarket that it comes with. Even though Mini doesn't necessarily have lots of horsepower and is a super badass car, in between the aftermarket parts for big price tag cars such as BMWs and Audi and so forth, there is always also parts for a Mini. I think this is mainly due to the huge community that there is in Mini. Many people are super enthusiastic about their Mini and want to individualize their cars, so there are a lot of parts for it. To me, this is just a fun aspect of this car that I had no idea about when I first purchased it. So when I look for something like my KW suspension, I wasn't entirely sure if they were going to have it for my Mini model specifically, but they did, because the community is just so big and demand is there. This actually leads me to my next point, number 3 on my list, which is how well this Mini can be individualized. Starting from the light surrounds to the air brake inlet surrounds, the boot handle, the air scoop, beltline, and various things on the interior, you can individualize practically anything on this car. And once you have individualized your Mini, for instance, I like to use the blue color from my blue mirror as it is a Basewater edition, and I've used that among different places on the car, the beltline, the brake air inlet surrounds, and even the light surround on the rear. This makes the Mini stick out really nicely immediately, even though you've barely even changed anything. That for me is another very big plus on this Mini. We're getting close to the end. This is number 2 on my list of things that I love about the Mini, and this is the Sport button. The Sport button, among other things, enables the pops and bangs in the exhaust. So when you're driving around in your sporty mode of the Mini, the exhaust makes some really nice pops and crackles and bangs, and it is a godly sound considering this is just a 1.6 liter engine. I will put a video right here for a viewer that asked me to do this recently. The Sport button, however, does not only change what the exhaust sounds like, it also gives you a much sportier drive, for instance by stiffening the steering wheel. Another aspect of the Sport button is that it greatly improves the throttle response, meaning that as you push down the accelerator, you will feel that actually the car is much more responsive to your touch and quickly uses more petrol than you would think that it does, giving you a much sportier drive, being able to take the turns much faster and having ultimately more fun. The Sport button was actually one of the main reasons why I purchased this car. When I was looking to buy a Mini, I was searching through used cars and chose only those that had a Sport button. This ended up being the correct car, and it does have the Sport button, and it is absolutely magnificent. So if you're maybe on the verge of buying a Mini, try to make sure that you've got a Sport button. We've arrived at the last point and probably the main thing that I love about my Mini, and it is its sportiness. The minute you get into this car, you know this is basically just a big go-kart that is legal to be driven on the roads. And this is not just the feel of the stiff steering wheel and the throttle response, the Sport button with its beautiful exhaust pops and bangs, but also just how close you are to the asphalt, how well this car handles, and how deep you can go, how fast you can go in a corner without even thinking that you might slip or that you might be going too fast. It's really difficult to describe, but if you have never driven a Mini, I don't think you can quite grasp the feeling that you get of driving in this car, going fast on a mountain road. Obviously legally fast, but you can have so much fun in a car that only has 184 horsepower. That is nothing. It's a tiny engine, it truly is, and it has a bunch of issues. But when it's driving, You really enjoy this car a lot, and that is the main thing I like about this Mini and why I still own it after 4.5 years of also struggling and paying a lot of money for it, for maintaining everything. I still love it and I would definitely choose to buy one again. It's difficult to describe just how much fun it is to drive a Mini on mountain passes, and if you don't have the opportunity to do so, I hope that with my videos I can give you a glimpse of what it feels like. This is all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please let me know the things that you love about your Mini. And in the next video, I will be talking about the things that I dislike about the Mini. So do stay tuned for that. That being said, have a nice day and see you in the next one. Goodbye.